Hello everyone! Dafuk keeps delaying his 70th episode, and in order to stay more or less sane here, I've got another idea how to entertain you guys during these times while you're waiting for the new content. Today, I'm going to show you my renewed top 10 strongest and most interesting Skibidi toilets up to the episode 69. And if there are some veterans amongst my fans, you guys must have remembered how I already did my top 10 before, but it was quite a long time ago, and now lots of things have changed. Dafuk has added plenty of new content into the series, including a ton of new, interesting, and scary as hell Skibidi. So today, I'm going to discuss the most interesting Skibidi I didn't talk about in my previous top 10 video. So get your tea and snacks ready, because that's going to be really cool. Let's go. And in 10th place, we have Buzzsaw Claw Skibidi Toilet from episode 58. And I'm going to be absolutely honest with you guys here. This bad boy got this place in my ranking system solely due to his appearance. I mean, you just look at this guy. Even though he's not the biggest in size in comparison with all the other Skibidi in this top 10, his looks are so intimidating that it compensates the size thing really easily. But the devil's in the details, as they say, so let's take a closer look at him. This guy is the modernized version of the regular Buzzsaw Skibidi, and he can be distinguished from them by the different upgrades he's got. Not only does he have 2 buzzsaws on the sides of his head, but also 6 mechanical spears and the thick metal facial protection both on his eyes and ears, which purpose is to absorb the incoming damage. And I think that this type of protection is looking very similar to the vacuum Skibidi urinal's metal facial pieces. And besides that, he also has 2 powerful jetpacks behind his back. And what distinguishes him the most is his 6 sharp spears that are meant to impale any type of enemy. You can see how on the end of each of his spears, there are bodies of the Alliance's members, and it's really brutal and terrifying. Thankfully, this son of Dracula gets ended quite soon by the furious Titan Speakerman who got freed of the parasite just a few episodes before, so he was ready to destroy everything on his way. And that's why this bad guy gets the last place in my ranking, because despite his terrifying appearance, he was not that powerful after all. In 9th place, we got the Incinerator Scavi from episode 64. He appears in the beginning of the episode paired with G-Toilet, and together they represent quite the scary and powerful bond. Incinerator Scavi reminds me more of some sort of massive truck with his appearance. Instead of a toilet tank, he has a large oven-like body filled to the brim with a bunch of buzzsaws. And also there's fire that can be seen fuming inside of him in the deeper part of his midsection. He's incredibly huge in size, and there's a large metal platform that leads upwards to his front scary opening. And on the right side of him, there is a smaller metal gate, which reminds me a lot of the cupboard's door in the restaurant kitchen. And besides that, on the bottom sides of his oven-like body, there are wheels that can be seen attached to it. This guy definitely deserves the 9th place due to the intimidating nature of him. I mean, his purpose here is to clear out any living being standing in his way, either its friend or enemy, and he seems not to care at all for any collateral damage he produces. Thankfully, similar to Buzzsaw Claw Skibidi, he gets destroyed in the same episode he appears in for the first time, because the looks are not actually everything. And in 8th place, we've got one of the most popular newer Skibidi out there, which is Geeky Jesus Skibidi. This guy is one of my favorites, by the way. We saw him emerging for the first time in the series in episode 61, which is the same episode, by the way, where Speaker Woman appeared. And I decided to put this Skibidi to my top, not only due to him being a reference to Moist Critical aka Charlie, which is a great dude all around, but also because his design is so freaking cool. He has an absolutely unique futuristic appearance. He moves really fast, and he's got some awesome powerful weapons as a nice addition to his overall look. The most important detail about his equipment is that he has 2 strong flashlights under his toilet, which are quite unique, because I didn't remember any other Skibidi having them. Those flashlights are meant to stun cameramen in order to destroy them safe and sound. I'd say this technology is the mirroring of TV men's screens abilities in some way. And by the way, it would be really cool to see those flashlights on some of Skibidi in episode 70, because if you guys remember my analysis of the new leaks for this episode that Elite Cameraman exclusively got, I said that one of the Skibidi soldiers on those leaks can possibly have those flashlights for the final battle. But getting back to Geeky Jesus Skibidi, I also chose him for this iconic meme scream that makes me laugh every time. And in 7th place, we've got Scavi Frankenstein from the first part of episode 69. He can be noticed right before the emergence of Michael Jackson's Skibidi, of whom we'll also talk a bit later, by the way. Oops, spoilers? This guy managed to get into my list not only due to his appearance, but also because he was such an iconic reference too. As Dafuk intended the first part of episode 69 to be really spooky and filled with different horror references, he couldn't escape an idea of adding this guy to the menu. So we have the Skibidi whose face is really similar to the iconic Frankenstein's monster face from the old movies produced by the Hammer Film Studio in the 70s. He's also got the thick metal stripe covering his eyes, which once again reminded me of vacuum Skibidi urinals equipment. Although this guy does pretty much nothing important or meaningful, he's still giving me a major ick, especially paired with Michael Jackson's Skibidi, who create an incredibly spooky bond together. In 6th place, we have Scavi Mutants, that appeared multiple times after episode 57. The most remarkable times when they emerged were in episodes 62 and 63, because we could see their true potential there. In the end of episode 62, after the epic Skibidi scientist's appearance, from the POV cameraman's perspective, we could see 2 upgraded Skibidi mutants approaching him with the unsettling smile on their faces. They look incredibly tall, and comprised of both the toilet tank and the humanoid type of body. Also, we can already notice how there may be multiple pieces of armory which are possible to attach to them, which makes those abominations even more terrifying. In episode 63, we also see how difficult it is to destroy even one Skibidi mutant completely, because this guy is just that good. By the way, do you remember how he managed to throw the whole damn truck with cameramen sitting in it, as if it was just a wooden toy? These guys are so powerful it makes my skin crawl. And how could I leave the Skibidi mutant that we saw in the first part of episode 69 out of it? This guy represents everything I chose the Skibidi mutants in this list for. He's scary as hell, probably dead in his brain cells, and he's also really hard to destroy. And he's so powerful that he manages to tear off the head camera of the cameraman standing in front of him with just one movement of his hand. Those guys are not here to joke with, that's for sure. For 5th place, I chose our beloved trio of Gmans Clones that we could remember from the 4th part of episode 67. These guys are iconic as well, because their appearance was a pretty funny way to dethrone the theory that G-Man is one and only in the series. To tell you honestly, those 3 buddies are not as powerful as they might have looked like at first sight. But still, their emergence was really impactful in my opinion. And besides being goofy and fun, they provided Titan TV Man with a perfect opportunity to show off his new abilities and upgrades. So they got to be sort of his whipping boys, for which I even sympathize with them a bit. Anyway, thank you guys for participating in this awesome battle. At least you served your face cards really well. In 4th place, we have the Skibidi I already mentioned before. And I mean, how could I not add him to that list? Be for real, guys. This spot gets taken by Michael Jackson's Skibidi, who made the whole 69th episode so much more memorable. Similarly to the Frankenstein Skibidi, he got to be in this ranking mainly due to him being such a great reference, not only to Michael Jackson the singer, but also to the popular creepypasta horror game called Ayuwoki. Besides looking intimidating and unsettling as heck, this Skibidi is also really powerful and fast. I mean, do you remember those 2 goofy speakermen that were unlucky enough to get on his way? Yep, that's right. They got simply dismembered when he firstly appeared near them. Too bad. This guy acted like a smooth criminal for real, and now, it's time to get to the first 3 places in the list. And the 3rd place goes to Scabi Kleiner, who appeared in the 2nd part of episode 68. Now, although we saw him just once yet, this guy is the real talk. First of all, he's incredibly tough, and he seems to be one of the most dangerous Skibidi of all we had seen in the whole series. He's got 4 powerful laser cannons as well as 4 claws, which were powerful enough to push open the elevator gates as if they were just nothing. Also, he seemed to not even notice all the shots and darts that pierced him from the cameraman's weapons, and it looked like he didn't even feel any damage from it. And as an addition to his already spooky enough nature, he never stopped smiling in a very eerie way, as if he is being perfectly aware of how freaking terrifying he is. This guy definitely deserves his spot that high in the list. In the respectable 2nd place, we have G-Toilet of the latest improvements, who we glimpsed at in the first 2 parts of episode 67. And you guys may ask me, why is this dude placed so high, ISO? He didn't even participate in the fight fully. He was just observing Skibidi scientists doing all the work, and then he fled like a coward when the upgraded Titan TV Man appeared. And to that, I'll answer you with just 4 words. Secretly added tablet scene. That's right, folks. I believe this G-Toilet has a tremendous potential for the future episodes of the series in terms of lore. Also, I am absolutely sure he's being upgraded even more, and soon we will see him in all his glory when the final battle will be getting unfolded. Besides, thanks to him, we will soon get some valuable information on the nature of the true G-Man, the original version we almost forgot about due to all these clones messing around. I'll be looking to the 70th episode. And by the way, speaking of it, let's get to number 1. And in the first place, in my top ranking, you can see SKIBIDI Scientist Puppet. That provided us with some of the coolest and most badass fighting moments in the whole series, and I'd say that the best highlight of his upgrades and abilities was in the second part of episode 67, even despite his tremendous defeat against the improved Titan TV Man afterwards. But before his arch-enemy had arrived, he managed to deal with Titan Cameraman and Titan Speakerman at the same time, and damn if it didn't look like he's about to truly destroy our Chad Cameraman in this scene. This guy was a real gem throughout the second half or SKIBIDI Toilet series, and the battle moments with him really elevated the whole show on another level in terms of entertainment and quality. Props to this guy for that. And if Dafouk's hints are true, we're also about to see the original scientist in episode 70 as well. I simply cannot wait. And there is another guy I decided to add as a sort of honorable mention here, because I already put him on the pedestal in my old top 10 SKIBIDI video. But he still remains relevant to me. I'm talking about ISOTOILET, or to be more precise, about the whole species of ISOTOILETs as the new generation of SKIBIDI toilets. I've already made my theory about how Dafouk can actually continue the plot arc of this series after the final battle with ISOTOILETs in space. And it would be extra cool if I will turn out to be right. From now on, all what's left for us is to wait for the 70th episode, because there's already just a ton of questions and predictions that this episode must answer. And that was all for today. I really hoped you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, hit the like and subscribe buttons to support what I am doing, because it's really important to me. And that was me, ISOTOILET. See ya!